Today's lesson is on dividing decimals. After today, you will be able to fluently divide multi-digit numbers and decimals using the standard algorithm. First, we'll look at our key idea for dividing decimals by decimals. Multiply the divisor and dividend by 10, 100, or 1000 to make the divisor a whole number. Then place the decimal point in the quotient and divide as you would with whole numbers. Now we're going to look at our first example for dividing decimals. For A, we're going to find 18 2/10 divided by 1 4/10. So our first step is to multiply each number by 10 because we want 1 4/10 to be a whole number. If we multiply it by 10, we'd move our decimal over one place, which would make it 14. So then 18 2/10, if we multiply it by 10, move our decimal over one place, would become 182. Now we can divide. 14 goes into 18 one time, and 1 times 14 is 14. We subtract and get 4, bring down our 2, and 14 goes into 42 three times. 3 times 14 is 42. When we subtract, we get 0. So our answer is 13. Our decimal will go straight above in our answer, so it's after the 3, which makes this 13. For B, we're going to find 273 thousandths divided by 39 hundredths. We're going to need to multiply by 100 this time because we need to move our decimal 2 places over to make 39 hundredths a whole number. So we also are going to need to multiply 273 thousandths by 100. So move our decimal 2 places over, and that makes that 27 3/10. So our new problem is 27 3/10 divided by 39. 39 will go in 7 times, and 7 times 39 is 273. When we subtract, we get 0. For our decimal will go straight above in our answer, so it's in front of the 7. We can then put a 0 in front of that so that we get our answer as 7/10. Now we have an additional example. You can pause the video and try it on your own, or you can follow along. For this problem, we're going to divide and then check our answer. For number 1, we've got 6 84 hundredths divided by 5 7/10. The first thing we need to do is we're going to make 5 7/10 a whole number, so we have to multiply by 10. When we do that, our decimal is moved over one place. We're also then going to have to move the decimal over one place for 6 84 hundredths, which will make it 68 4/10. Then we can bring our decimal straight above for our answer, and now we just divide. 57 goes into 68 one time, and 1 times 57 is 57. We're then going to subtract, and 8 minus 7 is 1. And 6 minus 5 is also 1. Then we're going to bring down our 4. And 57 goes into 114 2 times. And 2 times 57 is 114. Then we can subtract, and we're going to get 0. So our answer would be 1 2/10. Now for our second example, we're inserting zeros in the dividend and quotient. We're going to find 2 45 hundredths divided by 7 thousandths. The first thing we need to do is we need to multiply 7 thousandths by 1000 because we need to move our decimal over 1, 2, 3 times to make that a whole number. Since we move it over 3 times for 7 thousandths, we also move it over 3 times for 2 45 hundredths. When we move it over 3 times, we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, and in that space, because our decimal will be right here, in the space then we're going to add a 0. So now our problem is 2,450 divided by 7. 7 goes into 24 3 times, and 3 times 7 is 21. When we subtract, we get 3, and then we bring down our 5. 7 goes into 35 5 times, and 5 times 7 is 35. We're going to subtract and get 0. We still have a 0 to bring down, so we have to continue to divide. 7 goes into 0 0 times, and then 0 times 7 is 0. We can then subtract. We get 0. Now we are finished because we don't have anything left to bring down. So our answer is 350. In this problem, the decimal was at the end because we moved it over behind that 0, so it would also be at the end of our answer. Since it's at the end, you do not have to write that decimal. You can just leave it as 350. Now we have additional example. You can pause the video and try it on your own, or you may follow along. We're going to divide and check our answer. So for number 2, we have 18 hundredths divided by 3 thousandths. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make 3 thousandths a whole number. In order to do this, we're going to multiply it by 1,000, which means we move our decimal 3 places. 1, 2, 3. We also need then to move it 3 places for 18 hundredths. So 1, 2, 3. In the space that we've created, we put a 0. For our answer, our decimal will go straight above. And now we can go ahead and divide. 3 will go into 18 6 times, and 6 times 3 is 18. Then we need to subtract, and we get 0. We do have a 0 that we need to bring down, so we need to bring down that 0 that's in our problem, and then divide again. 3 goes into 0, 0 times, and 0 times 3 is 0. Now we can go ahead and subtract, and we get 0. Again, we do not have anything left to bring down, and since we're left with 0, we are finished. So our answer is 60. Don't forget to fill out your notes, and remember to watch the video again if needed.